are gathered here to fill you with fear and give you a treat for your ears. As we invade your mind with our scary rhymes and some tales that can be gory. As you bear witness and sit here and listen to our poetic horror stories. Today, we like to take a look at Mary Shelley's story, Frankenstein, and not the Hollywood monster movie we grew up with. Let's take away the green-skinned monster movie tropes and lean into the psychological horror of the deadbeat dad and the existential dread of Mary Shelley's original 1818 text. Hello, PHS crew, new viewers and new subscribers. We are taking a deep dive in explaining the Mary Shelley story Frankenstein monster. We all think we know the story, the lightning bolt, the hunchback assistant, the Hollywood iconic movie line, "It's alive." But the Hollywood version of Frankenstein is more like a campfire story. But Mary Shelley's original novel is more like a death note for the human ego. In 1818, an 18-year-old Mary Shelley didn't just write a horror novel. She wrote the autopsy of the Enlightenment. She gave us a hero who isn't a hero, and a monster who is more human than his creator. Today, we tap into the dark, cold heart of the modern Prometheus. But before we dig into the topic at hand, please do us a favor. If you're new, can you please click subscribe? We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year 2026. It's free. It won't cost you anything. This will help our small channel grow. We would greatly appreciate it. Now, on to the video.
Hello, PHS crew. We have a question for you. Have you read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein novel? Let's start a conversation in the comments below. We are dying to know.
Let's talk about Victor Frankenstein, the creator. Victor isn't just a mad scientist. He's something much worse. He's a deadbeat dad with a god complex. Victor Frankenstein doesn't create life out of a desire to help humanity. He does it because he's obsessed with glory. He wants a new species to be known as its creator, its god. But look at the process. Shelley describes Victor haunting charnel houses, disturbing with profane fingers the tremendous secrets of the human frame. Victor spends 2 years stitching together a 8-foot-tall giant, not because he wanted a monster, but because working on a larger scale was easier. It was a shortcut. And the second that giant opens its dull yellow eyes, what does Victor do? He runs away. This is the core of Shelley's book of horror. The horror isn't that the creature is ugly and looked at just as a grotesque monster. The horror is Victor, the supposedly civilized man. He sees his creation that needs him and immediately abandons it. It seems like a tale that's as old as time. It's the equivalent of a father running away from his responsibilities in our modern society and leaving his child behind. Rise. 2026. 85 seconds. Escalating AI risk and nuclear proliferation. Essentially, the clock is a doctor's diagnosis of the planet's health. A symbolic plea for world leaders and the public to take action before the countdown reaches zero.
My name is Erin, and she talked.
In the Hollywood movies, the monster doesn't really talk. It grunts. But in Mary Shelley's book, the monster is a philosopher. He teaches himself to read by eavesdropping on a family of cottagers. He reads Paradise Lost. He understands his own tragedy before he even speaks his first word. The creature is the ultimate blank slate. He starts with a heart full of benevolence. He gathers wood for the poor. He wants to fit in and shows he's not a monster they believe him to be. He just wants to belong. But every time he tries to help, he's met with hate and screams. The way the villagers treat the poor creature made him feel isolated, alone, and unwanted. The truth is, the creature didn't choose to be a monster. Victor bored it into him through his neglect. There's a haunting line the creature says to Victor in the book. It reads,
"I ought to be thy Adam, but I am rather the fallen angel."
He realizes he is in a universe where his God hates him, and that is when the murder starts. Not out of bloodlust, but out of a calculated, desperate desire to make Victor feel as alone as he feels. Victor Frankenstein promises to create the monster a female companion, but Victor had a change of heart, which leads the monster to kill Victor's little brother, his best friend, and Victor's bride, Elizabeth, on their wedding night. The monster brutally wanted revenge for the abandonment, loneliness, and Victor's destruction of the promised female companion by destroying those dear to Victor. The monster aims to force his creator to experience the same profound solitude and misery he suffers. Victor's reasoning for destroying the monster's partner: Victor feared they would breed a race of devils. In an act of moral clarity, Victor tears the female creature apart, while the monster watches him through a window. This turns the story into a parasitic loop, where Victor chases the creature to the Arctic for revenge and to reclaim his ego. The monster and Victor have now become two halves of the same broken soul, wandering a frozen wasteland where nothing can grow. Prometheus stole fire from the gods and was tortured for eternity. Victor stole the spark of life and was tortured by his own creation. Shelley began writing Frankenstein monster in the middle of the Industrial Revolution. People were starting to think science could solve everything, even death. Shelley's Frankenstein story was more of a warning of her time. She wasn't saying we shouldn't use science to create. She was saying the complete opposite. Don't create what you refuse to take responsibility for. Her novel was sending out a message. If you bring a life into this world, take care of it and give it a place to belong, a home. Nurture and calm the monster that dwells inside, or will eventually turn on you, burn down your home, and take away everything you ever loved. Victor's monster only wanted to be loved. He saw Victor as his father, and he just wanted Victor to see him as his son. At the core of this story, it isn't really a monster story, but more of a tragic, twisted, and sad family trauma. At the end of the story, after losing his wife, Elizabeth, father, and best friend to the monster's revenge, Victor pursues his creation across Europe and into the Arctic. He is found by Walton's crew nearly dead from exhaustion, hypothermia, and starvation. But eventually, Victor dies of exhaustion from his illness in the Arctic on Captain Walton's ship, after wasting away from his obsessive quests to destroy his creation. He dies without learning from his obsession, still demanding vengeance. The creature appears to mourn Victor's death. He tells the captain he will build a funeral pyre and turn himself to ash. The monster is the only one who feels true remorse for Victor. So the question is, who is the monster? The one made of dead people's body parts who wanted to just be loved? Or the creator, the man with the good upbringing who chooses to hate his creation? Victor Frankenstein was the creator, but I think we know who the real monster is. This will conclude Mary Shelley's Frankenstein Explained. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive story. If you did enjoy it, then please like, share, and comment to let us know. And if you're new, please subscribe. Again, we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers this year for 2026. Become a part of the PHS crew. And since you made it this far, then why don't you click on the iCard? We have many original horror stories and deep dives you will enjoy. We appreciate and thank you all, and we will see you in our next video.